Hello everybody and welcome to the Maverick Files here on the MoneyShift YouTube channel. I'm your host Thanasi, and today we have 3,500 miles on the Maverick in just over a month. So I want to talk about what it's been like living with the Maverick and what are some of the things that I've noticed over my time with the vehicle. But it's not just that, because I know we've talked about some of those things in the past already. We're going to be talking about modifications. Now, I've put some serious miles behind this truck already, so what are some of the changes that I want to make that I think can improve the Maverick overall? Without further ado, I'll give you guys the keys. Let's take a walk around. Stepping inside the Maverick, we realize one of the first things that I've learned over these 3,000 miles, that is that this MPG meter reads a little bit hot. What I mean by that is it is high. Here it's showing 27 MPG, but my actuals are closer to 25 and a half. Now, that isn't the biggest deal breaker, but it's something to keep in mind if you're going to be a hybrid owner and you're quoting this MPG as your actual. That is not really what it is. Again, not a deal breaker, but just something to keep in mind with the Maverick. But moving on to number two, we're going to step into the back seat. Now, this hasn't been covered a lot by many reviewers or many videos here on the YouTubes, but that rear speaker is precariously close to your ears. Now, whether you're on the left side or the right side, if there is a conversation going on in the front of the vehicle and the audio system is on, quite frankly, it's going to be tough to engage in that conversation, as is, wow, I can't even think of the words, as I'm going to show you guys here on the right. There we go. The speaker is very close to your head. So if you're sitting on the right side, it's right next to your right ear, left side, left ear, and it just makes it hard to really be a part of that conversation because you're hearing all of the audio. But as we step to the back, one of the best things about this last 3,000 miles has been this tailgate. We have used it non-stop pretty much. There has been consistent cases where we've made use of all 4.5 feet in this pickup bed. Truly, I have loved it. It has been so practical, so helpful for a variety of reasons, which has been great. I've really used it myself for three big things that have been very, very helpful to me. The first of which has been lugging 8x4 sheets of paneling. The second of which has been lugging firewood. The third of which has been taking out trash and things that you wouldn't want to be in the trunk or inside of your vehicle. Having the ability to have them in an open air environment certainly is very, very helpful. But this does lead us into our modification section. First modification that we want to do to this vehicle is apply a tonneau cover. So are we going to go through Ford and use the Ford Pass, the 42,000 points that you're gifted on purchase? Or are we going to go through a third-party provider? Let me know in the comments what you want us to do, and we will definitely execute on that. It's wintertime here in the Northeast, so we got to do something sooner rather than later. The second modification that I want to talk about today is the wheel tire department. Now, I have the XLT. I have the XLT with the FX4 package, which means I have this, excuse my language, cover your ears, bitchin' set of black alloys. I really do love how these wheels look, but we have a problem. The tire on the FX4 package is an all-terrain radial tire. Now, if you go to the fine folks over at Tire Rack, you'll see that it is rated for the snow. It's 6.9 in the snow, which is a decent rating, but not perfect. And for a area such as the Northeast that gets a lot of snow, we're going to be needing something that is closer to perfect in order for us to really get through any potential snowstorm that we have to get to where we need to go. So we have some options, and I need your help, so drop it in the comments. Number one, do we send it as is and report back on how the snow performance is of these all-terrain radial tires that come with the FX4 package? Do we replace the wheel tire package entirely with something new, maybe something from Method, something from 1552, something like that? Or do we just replace the tires and keep these same alloys? Something that is more dedicated all-terrain, report back on comfort, report back on MPG. Let me know what you think in the comments. But we're going to keep this train rolling, and we're going to focus on the lighting. I am a huge fan of proper lighting, and the Maverick's got a lot of it, but it also has a lot of halogen. We're definitely going to be changing those blinkers in the front to full LEDs with some resistors so that we don't get the hyper flash. In the rear, we're also going to address those guys up top and each reverse light and swap those over to LED as well. And you might be asking, why aren't we doing anything with the rear tail light? And that's because I think that there's going to be a full aftermarket solution that potentially offers a lariat type or even just full LED like thing. So in the meantime, we're just going to apply some reverse LED lights there to just give us some more light when we're reversing and just illuminate more of that bed space for that third light. Now, I think there's going to be a lot of aftermarket solutions here, which is why we're keeping our sort of modifications to a minimum when it comes to the lighting, but we're addressing some things that'll just improve the overall look as well as the light that we'll be able to get in the bed. And the last thing is a friend of mine did purchase a bed light for me. We're going to wire that in to the pre-wired section and sort of see what that process is like and how that is. But for the last modification, we're actually going to go inside the Maverick and address it. So you guys know my thoughts, my opinions, my feelings on the speaker system. We've talked about it in the past, but I am just not a fan of the audio system in this XLT Maverick. I think it leaves a lot to be desired, and we're going to address it. We're going to swap out the speakers with some replacements in the aftermarket, and we're going to comment on if that is enough to turn that frown upside down. Do we need to just change the fronts, the 4 speakers there in the front, the 2 in the doors and the 2 tweeters? Should we also change the 2 in the back? How much is it going to cost? How easy is it? How many available options are there? And should you do the same? That's what we're going to be looking to address with all of these modifications. But with that, give me back the keys and let's do a summary and close out this video. But just because you love something doesn't mean you can't want the best for it. And I want to modify this Maverick and hopefully improve on what Ford already created by putting my spin on it. So I want to give some LED lighting where Ford put in halogen, in the blinkers, in the reverse lights, in the third light. I want to improve this audio system. So we're going to be replacing these speakers with just regular replacements. We're not going to be doing anything crazy. I want to do things to this truck that you at home could also do or get done for you should you want to. So not crazy custom enclosures. We're going to be using the stock points and we're going to be swapping them out for new speakers. And then lastly, I need your help here, okay? We're gonna get a tonneau cover because it's about to snow and I definitely don't wanna keep getting snow in that bed, so we wanna cover it. Which one do we get? Do we go the Ford accessory route, leverage that Ford Pass, show you guys how that works? Or do we go with a third-party provider like a Gator or someone like that? And then the last question, probably the more important one, is what do we do for wheels and tires? Do we keep the FX4 wheel tire package and showcase how that does in the winter? Or do we do a little bit of an upgrade, go the all-terrain route on the FX4 wheels, or just scrap it all together and get a set of all-terrains with 4 wheels and tires and do comparisons in the snow, how the FX4 pack is versus that? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Again, as always, thank you so much to everybody for participating and liking and commenting in the channel. You guys are not unnoticed and I appreciate every single one of you, truly. And if I haven't responded to your comment, I will soon. Thank you everybody for tuning into this week's episode. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.